94.7 Ekosiisen ena wasugusua utie no midindi osaibo so make us say the Honorable former Deputy Communications Minister Felix Kwachiofosu ewa hasan so ena oko secondary constituency member of parliament or that one ano Andrew Ejapa Mesa ono so ewa mpanyifo mienu ne won edi enkomo ya reviewing the budget statement and honoring the leader of the majority side of parliament at the Kokotu, also the minister in charge of parliamentary affairs and government business, or they call a Kokotu. Citizen Kofi Abakan or say the migrated Cape Coaster, and he says, "Good evening, Obi. Please extend my greetings to Honorable Ejapa Mesa. Please, Obi, kindly ask Honorable Felix to confirm to Ghanaians the number of NIA cards the NDC administration produced over their 8 years in office. We heard him mention 16 million from the back room. Is that what he truly stated? Please hold him to strict proof with further and better particulars for prosperity's sake. Thank you. And thank you too, my brother. We say, good evening, Obi. No country can develop without debt. This is what is in old adage. It takes money to make money. Okay. Ben Abdallah. That's offensive South. Okay. We'll come there. Honorable Ben Abdallah and so the information be at here. But the message continues. This is what the old adage says. It takes money to make money. Determining whether a debt is good or bad sometimes depends on what the debt is used for. The NPP invested in projects that would yield benefits in the future. But what did the NDC do? They borrowed to purchase rapidly depreciating assets and for consumption. Dennis, from the quarters of the former Volta Regional Minister, Honorable Reverend Johnson Avulete. And on the other, Dennis, good evening to you. It's clear the cause of Dumso under former President Mahama was as a result of lack of funds and not an issue of capacity. Solid submissions from Honorable Ejapa Mesa. Greetings to Ebenezer Nina Nate, a man of his words. Fieron is in Mata Heko. And on the way, Charles Nyamiwa Saman Kese. Charles says, some of us are not surprised at all with more taxes introduced because whoever thought the NPP were coming into government to make lives better did not actually know the kind of group they are. They can never be trusted on their promises, especially when they are desperately looking for power. Never again NPP. Charles Nyame Asaman Kese and Odeweyaba. But Honorable Banda say Yemfantuja or your former MP or Offenso South constituency. Say in the amount for be Edinidin and on Facebook, obviously with fake accounts, say or no recruiting kofo into the security agencies. Now any on the credit biarada a fake account. In this Obinu a deal on social media say or impersonate Honorable Banda na washanen so ede amaye say a fake enyadia or ye bibiasa intimontion so emaye Felix ma memra ho na fe yento an
so me bo ensemo amenu ano kan na tofa three things. He had a problem with my dismissal of rate of debt accumulation as a serious statistic in assessing debt sustainability. And I said, oh, the rate of debt accumulation. And two, about Dumso and how it came about. And three, taxes. I'll focus on three. He said other things, but Edikan. So because a rate of debt accumulation, it is a meaningless contrivance. The figures are there, but it is not a serious measure of your performance in debt. When you go and do a debt sustainability analysis, and I'm a board, I say he is not able to dispute those. The reason why Omoma excuses in terms of what the money was used for is the very reason why makers assembly. And as a rate of debt accumulation in the last few days on social media, it is a response to the Bonifano justifiable criticism on all the other metrics. But I don't know how much that Eddie be blue or more any assembly so I drink so. Send a bear or Monty assembly. Eddie kind. So what for actual figure now? what she said, not it's not saying in the copy. Say, I know Dr. Bamia Bejinanka say, yeah, for debt of 8 billion and a president for 110. Why did he make reference to that? He wanted to show that there's been a huge increase. Because of Hipikinti, you debt relief of close to $4 billion. And it's the President Kufuor, the debt, it looks small. It gave a lot of space for borrowing. It is a walk or Bobo Siania, there was a debt to GDP ratio. Say, we see Casemina, I want to tough. And no Bosia Wabona. Ube to me a chia. It's a debt rate of accumulation. It is not a necessary indicator, and necessary because it means nothing. It means once a Professor B, I know business school, you can say statistics are like bikinis. What they reveal is suggestive, but what they conceal is vital. They throw in one statistic that means nothing to make you seem some idea. But when you go into the deeper issues, statistics they are the worst administration in the Fourth Republic. Our debt to GDP ratio, it is worse. I say cry compared to the Ometoye. A car Ometoye, they've doubled it, and the money is huge. 165 billion Ghana cedis no abaka. Compared to 120 no meje, it is far worse than they met it. And at 3, and they almost use 27 billion Ghana cedis to service our debt out of 36 billion. 36 billion. That's
36.
To your information on the Bible. Meanwhile, I say revenue and our projected revenue is 72 billion. So half of revenue 50% is going into debt servicing alone. And sana,
but some of those debts were incurred by.
But the reason, my 18 billion. And at 2016, the service, I think it was 18 billion. Until they have doubled it because it has more than doubled. So, you buy ye, and maybe a candidate 150 billion. That's what about 30 pay. So they have kept their promise to reduce borrowing. As for debt, the MPP has been the worst administration in the Fourth Republic. And yes, I'm meaningless statistics in a they should speak to the real statistics. The second point, electricity. You see, and also often I make a busy philosophers or more casabi. One for be fallacious appeal to authority. We bet me your document now why do you say you are interpreting the document? But so one years you will misinterpret it and mislead people. Abraham document, I don't know the date. I think it's a dated document, just a document. It's not relevant anymore because information woman information that and I'm just say 2021 or see 2015. In fact, there were near mommy in electricity generation. What your friend installed capacity and only a filia waiting to the door opening in album and the door yes. And what your friend available capacity. Just and then in filia waiting to me in an answer, oh, pet, did you do ma? I hear Nabina. If I saw cast me and son, but me no say. It's a now with yes, or cast a walk baby about coupon or bit me use. You don't have the options of the other two. It's available capacity. He doesn't mention that. And what your friend peak demand. Just say, do one won't sabbe to me a canoe. A moo I him and a nipa a yusun caniano. These are the three issues. On one 2021 document is saying that as of 2015, now the Ebronifani peak demand 1,800 megawatts. It just say, yes, so in Kanye organ and now be a use Kanye organ and now use 1,800 megawatts. And now near using 2015. Or say, I'm not install capacity at 3,100 megawatts. 3,100 megawatts. One car available capacity, it would have been around 2,400.
Yeah.
Because out of 3,000, if you didn't be aware, we call about the the first equipment were installed under rolling, so they are at least 20 years old. And now thermal plants there, and I'm sure he knows, and now he would have been briefed. Maximum lifespan between 10 to 15 years. Now I started able because it becomes inefficient. It's the power we here no be another 130 megawatts, we 110 because it is a car. And you know depreciate in performance. Inti best say, say, and there also not say, or also not say, it will add up to your stock capacity, but it is not available in new mau. What cars me and son I want me no back on the engine, I say. baako so ne carburetor nya adwuma nti wutu a wudu ya na eja wesi kwan mu nti wo pese okọ baabi a wo use de e perform yi na enne but yes a ebeka so wo cars miensa nti ochina wo ka say okay me koto car baako aka wo ka say adare na wo cars miensa na koto baako aka they don't know that two of those cars are not available ebi na wo ne wo yire okọ adwuma esa say baako na wo nti no I say wukosi no it creates inconvenience so dem call la school nti okay let me buy another car so that should be if I'm able to repair the two now be the media maybe I'm be taxi and I'm the baby before so be pen and accommodate and now say ne grid co issue statement explaining the power cars ayenya no in the last 2 months after elections no almost say ene peak demand 3,200 megawatts as of 2015 now peak demand 1,800 megawatts ene saying 3,200, an increase of 1,400 megawatts in 5 years. Almost 100% increase. Almost 100% increase. Abraham Mesa Kasano, or say he's been briefed, say we need 250 megawatts every year to catch up. Inti sa 3,200. When him say year 2015, it would have swallowed everything in stock capacity now to swallow it. It is only a visionless party that has a problem with a leader who ramps up capacity. Because even with your available capacity, so when you reserve margin, the reserve margin is there for the then and now. Hey, yeah, just so be touch man now the aba. But because your demand continues to grow, spiral, you need to catch up. Thermal plant, so say emergency power plant, you need between 2 to 3 years to finish it. It's imagine saying yeah China demand no cost run sana yet intim infidia. You can imagine where we can near the soon KBC mu. Into the and the increase I walk and the reserve margin if you add everything it's around 2,100 megawatts. That even includes a year capacity any available in it. And you will see a biome Sans Moka said Doomso was a money problem. It's another of the lies told by Dr. Baumia. Why? And they say Doomso Ekoso. They turn off light intermittently. Grid co said when this explaining. Even though we have more capacity than we need, set light because of a technical problem they claim they have. So you are telling me say NDCD say Doomso buy it is because of money. It was not because of money. On one kind, August 2013, and a Doomso chassis, at least the name say Doomso. Because of West African gas pipeline, now you're train gas in Nigeria. I say we should have done alternatives. Now you use LNG. LNG, a liquefied natural gas. Do you say a gas? Now oma compress it at a certain pressure. Now I use you. Normally you go ship money, but I use you. It is a net. And so, but the moment it becomes a gas, a very volatile so. What they buy, you need to regasify. We didn't have that equipment. It will take you at least 2 years to put it in place. It's not you need a bria. What they require when West African gas pipeline is off. So in the interim, we hear emergency power plants. There, we bet me in the minimum year. And nothing I call for American power. So 2 plants we, and now a soya senior you to me fee doing some immediately.
But they turned out not to be emergency plants.
But they were emergency plants
because they did not get here early.
Oh, by the way, now I'm just say even good, even on emergency basis, look at the time it took us. So you can imagine regular power plants are waiting team. So you can imagine regular power plants are waiting team.
Asempa FM.
And it is these two, there's no dispute. Doomso officially 24th December 2015. And officially, it was brought to an end. We had intermittent power outages. But said the assistants say Doomso. But there be a light you doom the gun. That is what was happening after Doomso official load shedding ended because of other issues with transmission like they are having today. It is a true something kontompu over power plaza John Dramani Mama de Bayeno. Ese ene. O membi eniwa or when you are doing what Snahoma or how ba and San was one. President Mama did not only resolve the immediate problem, he created provision. And need to buy almost for 1 megawatt power account because they don't need to because it's what will happen. is that as other plants get older, would decommission the AFI system and I say air inefficient, you have newer ones to take over. To have that kind of security, it will cost you money. Into Ubetia, and I take or pay. Dr. Amin Antane Amewu, many of we were taught why it is necessary. Because a investment, Nipa no discount a bishim. In 2020, team plan on say, I just a win here and sana. What with Yaneka? Because he needs to service a piano you sue, mostly a financing credit, normally. And he must recover his cost. But what it guarantees you, they say, at least generation capacity will not be a reason why we soon. There be other issues like great for transmission problems on more and a bit more soon. It is our propaganda, so more to be it is not true. Say a yes, can the cost do so. Why are we sleeping in darkness now when we have more than enough generation capacity? And as you see, the margins we have are very, very slim. 250 megawatts a year. In 10 years, maybe 2,500. So what can wood in team plants as and when the problem occurs? Ube the sum, can the sum can be seen, and then they have options into almost to America. And they are Kukumaseva. Prove now Omutuno. We won't have a problem because there are alternatives you can rely on. Inti Omampeni John Dramani Mama. Abaso body kesiye and I was a gun for the man. Now, every for propaganda in order to escape excessive borrowing, must be dismissed. This answer entasumu. The other issue, Meka say Omembia Obabosia, which we are at one. Now, a yemini anede. I say then why am I complaining? Because I am sincere, unlike you are, unim no kwena mudi intro just to win political power. No. We have to be frank. And then expose your duplicity. No cry munni. And nothing and Dr. Bamia. He's become the butt of all jokes on social media. Hey, I know be watching the Twitter, but no be watching Facebook. Now, just say yeah, channel. Yeah, channel. Baby, he's the butt of all jokes. And he has not been able to come out to defend his position because it is not defensible. As someone kind, and need the or a boy bra. And when MPP for be MPP so can't tax as some people will laugh at those scoff at them because I'm out for what said the kind. But the Amima King, anytime I'm about taxes, people will accept it because only in Ukraine America. However, one case I will say COVID-19 aba. Ama sikasemno atobaha.
Ekosiisen on
All your incompetence, mismanagement, and hopelessness with your question COVID-19. Abai no cry in Niska. Intel so kwabo bosia. Na ankran na ewo ma animu a edwuma egu na o medwuma sei omuntumi entua electricity ni nsuo nti a wo so mase no de wo se omunkotua to. Where are they going to get the money to pay the tax that work? Just a few months ago, we say Ghana for yentumi ntua nsuo ka, yentumi ntua nka ne ka. Nti obetua mai. Lifeline ebi wa no tua 15 cedis a month. So ontumi ntua. Nti wo so na sene. Fair enough. A few months down the line, we see Sani Pakuna metua at 6 hour diabano. Because I say we see your mind is the It is contradictory. One kasa, what you have to say things are bad. Now, you are imposing tax at a time when the economy is in shambles. Nipe ni ejumaye. Ejumegu. You are imposing taxes. How do the people affected survive in such a climate? That is where you earn criticism, especially because of what you've said in the past. The other issue, any nuclear dia omuni ewe isi kasemo to no. The deliberate underreporting. What's your budget team? Minister can say deficit for 2020 11.7%, excluding financial sector payments.
on Asempa FM.
Where do they get the power from to exclude anything? Deliberate, almost shudder, just so that the figure will look better than it actually is. There is nothing that permits them to exclude financial sector payments because it is also expenditure
below the line.
Massa, into what it means is as a chamber finance minister, I can decide on a whim. Say some payments are made must be treated below the line. Why I didn't as MP before the dispensation and others should not get it. Into 2016, yenya deficit of 6.3 no. Nka Mr. Setek bebet me aka say on also be treated below the line deficit 2% and now. Would it have been acceptable to the MPP? I don't know for Obuo any need money pa mudio. Why can't they report the truth? Sana 2018 to 2019 omo year. Now what comes to IMF came to corroborate. IMF did not corroborate. You gave them the actual figure. And I would do another one. I would say excluding financial sector payments, any energy sector payments. But they had been satisfied already by the actual figure of 7% 2018, 7.5% 2019. So they cannot complain. But the one you say, almost disika seminal ABC, they are hiding poor numbers. And they must be held to strict account. So you are not allowed to do that. So every finance minister can come and say, I won't add this item, I won't add that item. So the deficit is this. This is the worst deficit we've had in the Fourth Republic.
Asempa FM.
No, me can say, sir, banking sector bill, you collapse banks, including banks, a year solvent. On the basis say we be in a quarter, you've collapsed the bank. Banks that you could have saved and ensured proper management of Uguno. We no. We say we be issue bonds and about 20 we pay cash betray. We could not simply say enunti yanto abama no ya ban papa. Na fe e ka na ba ho no de we say no de man yanka ho na you be mfom so. How is that acceptable? How is that acceptable? Inti almost say sikasem no ntutu no kra na. Omu ni akokudura, omu di tumu say ebia ye we na monfa nche. You want to hide the real facts from the people. You want to hide the facts. And also dan chenya, me can say omenya sikasi obia until they should do more no. Miniano was disputing it. In 8 years, we don't about me na oka. Or say in 8 years, he 248 billion Ghana cedis in 8 years. A car, Bosia ya boy, grants,
Ekosiisen
all
on Asempa
revenue
FM.
from all exports, any taxes. In 4 years, money 300 billion. And then from Kuna Maya be mad. Look how you digitalization. Masa. What your app high school children it me no channel you don't boost. Won't find say see wo and cast why you be a so. An applicant. Let me also set the record straight. The key interventions in digitalization, President Mohamed, your very big Ghana project, $114 million, and a World Bank demand. And no more, judiciary if you buy, and justice, education, health. Sir, your friends say telemedicine or more cano. You shall say in justice, not high court judges, almost meet na crack. Edin some communicate with their colleagues in all 10 regions. So we call airport and now who say electronic gate, our passport chair na be na if he Ghana project no. And yen and as hard buy.
Asempa
Yele
FM.
fiber optic cable. Sa app now more can. So we hear internet and Saudi be fiber optic cable of a length of 1,000 kilometers from Accra to Paga. A fat 26 districts,
Ekosiisen
120
on
communities.
Asempa FM.
Ye no, and both government and private sector companies. Omo baby Astor data. We have the biggest data center in West Africa. Our Ministry of Communications, Omo Dynasty. We did it. Ye and yes, community information centers. Ye free be LTE sites. Ye 119. And the boosting communication. Nema to me a course. Access data. Ye name nyina. Na ye we nyina we na oba. Na company we go for 2.5 million Ghana cedis. App bar. We say you are the champion of digitalization. And kasa kesi. Ye free be heavy lifting. Edumadia. E wasa wo ye ansa na wo de kakra piso. Na de omo ye application. There are boys sitting in KNUST. Omo ICT hub. They can develop apps for you. Ye be ye election na apps in na. Me, I had an app I could track who had voted and who had not voted. Nothing extraordinary. Oh, I say it is built on a platform. There are so many applications. It is so for a whole government to come and hinge its so-called digitization agenda on Sunday man can get to it. Would they compare
Ekosiisen
the
on
serious work?
Asempa FM.
Yeah. Why should you grant Syriacum? Inti, what share resources? Sir, one of the issues are almost our budget. No, say, we here, sir, a tour. Eddie acquire agenda 111. Eddie can agenda 111. Me know where you President Akufo-Addo Becca said the thing will start in July 2020 and end in a year's time, which is July 2021. Second half of budget, so they insisted say ombeye. Not one district hospital no musin in the 4 years omampeni akufo do betene konya so. Na yama 4 years went to me and see bakupo. Suddenly 3 years we betumi see 111. In any event, yama 300 billion Ghana cedis went to me and see bakupo. Na COVID-19 health level na we be see 111 hospitals. President Mama onya part of 248 and 249 no pe on President Mills na che. He has about 50 hospitals to his credit. 20 polyclinics. Well, Obiya ni modembo. Oko transporter. Obiya ni modembo. Oko roads, communication. And I'm making the things we did in communication. Oko housing. How and one of the promises that we do engage in a vigorous housing projects in Okabumwa. And two a year staff accommodation cry a year in addition to hospital projects the most we can have 500 housing units, not even 500 housing units no to me in 4 years. Transportation. Airports would also no musi Nkrumah. So a mixture of falsehood, atrocity, any denial of responsibility, any concealment of information, and a share budget. But what can you know? A budgeter, share answer normally taxes ye be crying. Or say 5% of corporate tax of banks are year taxing. It will not be passed on to consumer. The banks have to ensure that they are not hit. They will pass it on to the consumer. Because they are a business. They will adjust their charges to reflect size canon.
And you think that would help the banks?
Now, what are they supposed to, what options do they have? Share Abra almost two VAT money. All the taxes they brought, they did not affect your fencing. Affecting. So we say asempa ene
Ekosiisen
mo charges
Asempa FM.
Aya muti ama no. Say kwasura won't it affect your rates? You have to do it to survive. How do the bank survive? They are not a charity organization. So they will find a way to charge us. And now if the demand is inelastic, you have no option.
Still go there.
You have no option than to, because banking services, at least a certain category of Ghanaians there, they have no option that we a businessman now you won't bank. How are you going to survive? It's a terrible budget. Infantine say omoyo
another party see na okay mobile money into probability of budget 3.9 billion 4.9 billion. Dr. Baumia obe fine
4.2 million.
You see, share. Oh, Felix Brown, I'm on coming. Obi,
Lawyer.
Budget, public debt figure, anima.
So this is open, Obi.
Na incidents no was there what the BB dodgy. It's in some work inherent internal inconsistencies in what's in. Debt to GDP ratio on your budget no and see who has hidden anything.
Ekosiisen on
Public debt total onima. It's just been explained that look, yes, breakdown in G. And see, in company my breakdown because of a public debt into public debt is public debt.
Asempa FM.
Is that what they are suggesting? And so what can they be or hide the figures from Ghana far? What do they mean? The figures are out there in the budget. May use them figures here do our analysis. And so when I hide the figures. Obi, share. Them car example here or the man as justification for excess capacity abanwa contracts. No corner de be am catch ro e krupe o. Hwe e bia lim blame omanpain bia obe increase in energy capacity consistent with the demand forecast.
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
Yenim de yen generation capacity will increase by 250 a year. Now you draw program there because of here reserve margins every year be at the 500. Back one. One on your biboku. And every year be at the 300 back on. One no complain. Now a project there over 10 years will power demand will be increased to 2,500 in 10 years old. In year one, a contract to 5,000. Have you done any good? Ono ne yembo apakar ne yemfo wunsim. Ne ye wunka konfasi yembo ose. Obi, here to put it stuck. The consequences of one actions. Obi onini.
Ekosiisen
PURC
on FM.
I want to set the tariffs. Now tariffs now was set no. What's your actual production? And now my consumer no consume. And based on that no, why then we set tariffs. Ma I mean how we to per kilowatt hour. Inti excess capacity charges are awala ECG akwakaka sign under the instructions of Mr. Mahama or any ministers. Ono wow bancha ebon ho tro. PURC won't pass the cost no to our consumers. So guess what? Revenue ECG will collect in 2020. Oh yeah, 1.813 billion dollars. Fixed capacity charges. Oh yeah, 1.030 billion. O&M 326 million. Fuel payments 711 million.
Asempa FM.
Operation expense 576 million. Capital expenditure 139 million. Na debt service 202 million. Into the cost of generating the power for 2020 was 2.068 billion. ECG Motumwaji, because of how much they deliver, was 1.803. There was a shortfall of $1.1 billion that the government of Ghana has to pay. That's the reality of the recklessness with which they contracted the power, as if to say there was no tomorrow. This is the reality.
No.
Please.
How does the decision to install more capacity affect this one?
Because you have to pay for it.
Now ECG, when have they ever been able to cover the whole cost?
Chairman. ECG, yes, that there are some inefficiencies in their system. But I'm telling you that the capacity charge of 1.030 billion is not passed on to the consumer.
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
Anka bill no.
The PURC doesn't factor.
They don't use it as part of the reckoning. Because I will not go to power and to supply. No better than I can't change the premise and will be the one but you power now. So that cost that you have incurred for Ghana.
Asempa FM.
Obin kade. Mon ginen ko nhwe kan na transcript for moto akacheni. Na add power. After all, why? President Kufuor didn't add power.
He did. The strategic mines.
President Rollins wanted the power. So every government adds power realistically within your projections. Now, graphia meditrawi obi. Can anybody in his right conscience, a true lover of this country, a real patriot, defend this?
I've just explained to you.
You have explained. Your explanation is supposed to be gospel. What explanation?
Now, what accusation should be gospel?
This is. I'm showing you documents. Which figures? Other figures, Adam. You gave me a vehicle example. Vehicle.
It is an analogy.
Analogy.
Say on Asempa FM.
Oh, no, Felix,
Felix, Manny,
1,400 megawatts.
and we are not using it.
What I get you?
Only Obi, power your user.
Green Coast, you big demand.
Jackson, for graph net to Facebook now. Obi why?
Oh, Felix.
Felix, maybe.
Have they not admitted? Say peak demand, yeah, 3,200.
Yes.
2, 2015, I all refer to know. What was the peak? 1,800. Is it not an increase of 1,400?
Yes.
So if somebody increase capacity to meet that demand, you want us to wait? Say you do 3,200 and say I compare power plant. But that is your thing.
But he's making the point that increment in capacity they call 5,000.
Wait, what is the problem with that? But I'm saying that it is a mark of visionlessness on your part to criticize it.
So you are justifying the cost.
There's nothing wrong with it.
It's say I want $1 billion.
It will for 4 million. Let's say your communication strategy. I say it will for 25 million. Then you get
Felix,
cathedral.
Cathedral don't never construct by CBC to the glory of God. Yeah, Brebo, Obi. Yeah, yet the Kroba ho. And a President Kufo Okedo Kesi.
Ekosiisen on
Presidential
Asempa FM.
Jubilee House.
Jubilee House.
You people told us about better than to Nkukobu.
We never said that.
Dr. Tony Edu.
Lawyer Mesa Pocho. Lawyer Mesa. Graph no that to Facebook.
Thank you very much. Obi.
More I'm share on Facebook. The graph Lawyer Mesa talks about Nedahono.
Interpret this document. So you see.
Maybe. We'll do that.
Hey, Felix, 3,000 your graph you do.
No, so what are you complaining about?
But where is the excess?
In the more I'm share on Facebook, baby, a light sea blue no. A capacity added since
After
2015. And deep blue near installed capacity.
As of 2015.
And a red near peak
look and
load
if you
demand.
have money, say down the sky, what they are. Will you expend it in this way?
You've expended money on cathedrals. Will be a power generation plant. That's why you spend money on cathedrals.
Yeah.
I'm
paying Akufo-Addo.
It's your priority of priorities.
I'm not catching on no cathedral there to the glory of God.
Felix,
in your office but in alcohol.
La Mesa,
you see,
cathedral semna address
Obi, my send document now if you situate it in the proper context.
Which is not an issue.
What do you mean by this one? This is not an issue.
How is it an issue? Obi, I increase the issue capacity. Why?
Yeah, Obi.
I win this guy's against the
Obi. Matsina hewa. Muntu Monfort abanbia oil infrastructure. In fact, Mr. Mahama, time oye vice presidential candidate. Or catch a Ghana for there. Abanbia the infrastructure do to know be engaged in an exercise in mediocrity. Osana abanbia ebi. Fast forward, chairman, I can say Matsina Fast forward 2016. Okay, and the infrastructure should be basis for anybody to be voted for. Internal inconsistency, he told us. I'm a more fault of money be our infrastructure. But mercy, say, or you wuska na kogom a any freezer. Now corner merely on account of the fact that I got to Fadebeji and Fadebeja. Tomatoes, nkakraba Fadebeji. The one don't go me. And Zaka saw truck and the who's came that for the beji and the best one all the pro. If it's your money, will you spend it in that way? Obi, that's exactly what the NDC did. They had no care whatsoever for the financial cost on the people of Ghana. That's why they accumulated all these power plants as if to say they were confetti. Some useful, by all means. Why not? But the extent of accumulation, you can justify this. Such that today, Obi, government of Ghana is spending billions of dollars. Billions to pay people to sit by the beach and smoke cigar and drink whiskey and champagne. IPP owners no. Oh, how that? Now when you may be out of your car. Oh, which kind? What do you buy? What do you buy? The people are profiting. Oh, what investment? Who contracted the investment?
Plant
Oh, what about plant on the other? What about the plant? The plant here, the Obi, Mr. Data there doesn't lie.
Yes.
Data on the opposite internet here. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah. This is the reality. I'm not saying that President Mahama or your bundle contracted power 1,000 megawatts be or the Kaho just so that for the next 5-10 years, young power needs can be guaranteed. Now, since of 5,000 megawatts, such that Sika Obotu Wada dual carriage from Accra to Takrady, man, the pay me the 5 hours. I will have a quarrel with you. Se Sika Obotu Wada dualization from Accra to Kumasi, and then individual impo all combined. We could have spent this, and this is not one-off payment. Obi, on your one-off. It's recurring year bia, such that by 2023 we'll be spending $12 billion to pay for power we don't need. You say I shouldn't complain. Now ban or the levy riba. May na yetu and kakaka madam kawiya wire albatross around the neck of all of us. Yet yakawa abats na had complain. Obi, must one more alternative to how to pay this debt that was accumulated by Mr. Mahama and his government.
Now you share them sika yebetuya by 2023 now. Now say you cancel some of those contracts to your judgment data. Your cost benefit analysis not then.
Obi ni na monyo abana tribe. Why renegotiate in fact some of the power plants in Okrampono why reschedule some of the phases. Because was one delay kakra. Ma se demand no pick up. Then within reasonable planning, we to come on stream. It's all coming at a cost. Yeah, also pacta suit seven day one. Every man is bound by his contract, particularly states. This is a huge problem that has been caused by the Mahama administration. Eka was a man. Eka was a man because I go for those in National Cathedral. Oh, ebe yo. Now, rational and in any event,
Ekosiisen
National Cathedral government want to seed money.
Asempa FM.
Osopo. No, sir. Man kada ba bi an kada power plant here the no. Oh, okay. Must man jemand in case ban. Felix, don't deliberately don't man that deliberate.
Also wayen but they do. Wayen on kakra. So argument in
that's all. Man kada man your power plant. Because power plant on here. That's a case of power plant. Such that we are paying all this amount of money. Ebe, na can you check what we see? National Cathedral grab to CBO region bia. The cost that we are paying for this power that we don't need. National Cathedral, where every region can come on. What are we talking about? To spend almost $1.2 billion. Obi, that's not cheap money. Yet to go kwa. We're throwing that money away year by year. You say we shouldn't talk. In fact, I want to no call the advocate there no man about man paying. Yenim there mess ye clear and ye create. See, I went up for ye to there. Taxes equal no nke yen 2%. Nanke yen to me yen to ka we if you want time. Now ye apologize to the people of Ghana. The decisions that you take when we're in government, the consequence on the people of Ghana is grave. In Akufo-Addo say, "Oh yeah, we see ya election quiet contest babe." Until the MPP ubo to one man, they're competent. It's a matter of fact. We are the ones who are dealing with all the issues that you've created. Yet you turn around and come and say things that you yourself, sincerity, like seriously, my brother. Hey.
Okay.
Obi. Share. Ghana also headed.
No, also Ghana. A lot of the digitalization initiatives are
national
ordered by.
ID card. National ID card.
Also register 16 million people. No.
Ghana card Eubia.
It made the number.
But 6 million, 16 million, or of grow. I mean,
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
if I'm more consuelo, second, minim bia obi. Every party is okay. Was that where a diplomat, no, a foreign nationals now. Today he's coming to city and tell us that we have 16 million man. Ghana 4 year more in our way and Casoroda. Look, it will be as a member of the communications committee in the 7th Parliament. Muntu Mansnahana Mankade, former President Mahama, 1 year she in the communications infrastructure space. Ebe, why? Muntu Mankadamada. But a lot of investment has gone in there under this government. It's a matter of fact. Felix. Sure. Oh no, I mean the problem. Now, as he got away a fiber optic cables, 26 districts.
Yeah, also 1,000 kilometers.
26 they had a Paga, but never 100 districts or 200 districts. They're from here to Paga 120 communities.
Yes.
Some are of fame, mad in the fame. Say, be I'm working on the rim.
I was surprised.
Yeah, the entire fine is understood. So ask for explanations. But don't say that.
That Mansasi in terms of what?
Because why do you order 1,000 crores? They order for Kubi Ghana.
Man can order for Grubia. Man can order for Grubia. Most are can as if to say that telecommunication infrastructure or Ghana. I mean, a trick question. Oh,
yeah.
Or a trick.
That was it.
Moment trick.
That was it.
Because so I'm telling you that you see. Yes, you did the Eastern Corridor. You yourself sit here and admit that it passed through only 26 districts and then 120 communities. Now Ghana, yeah, 26 districts. Ghana, you want only 26 districts. But all the other districts have telecommunication infrastructure. Indeed, there are some communities that today, as we speak, rural telephony is being rolled out across because they don't have the infrastructure there. So don't make it look as if you did everything. You did not. That's the point that I'm making. Yes, for you be. I mean, there's no denying. Yeah. It's Mr. This budget, the medium-term framework, the Ghana Cares Obatampa program. Ebe. Again, Papa, power wabo was a shame. Ma COVID-19, and of course, other related or unrelated matters like the financial sector. One off, reasonable, sensible thing. Look, as a Abba Bank, what collapsing? You see,
Heritage Bank.
There's Heritage Bank. And you how Heritage Bank will obtain one capital.
Say do agongo dena.
Yes. Anima. Makana wahada.
So Bank
He
of Ghana
took money from his payments due from Cocoa Board. Put it in account belonging to him, properly so called.
But no,
Following day not transfer don't into the year on any party one account or printed bank statements. Same 30 million.
but no, it's
It's fraud.
How is it fraud?
Make it a 30 million. I need a 20 million, 120 million capitalization. Move is can be more. A print a bank statement. A move my OB or print a bank statement or move Biba Dominic.
Ekosiisen
In
on
Tiamwa,
Asempa
or
FM.
print a bank statements. You didn't know bomb. Now you can present to documents as if we have 120 million. It's not fraud.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Felix.
How is it fraud?
Asempa FM.
Is it 120 million?
No, how is it fraud?
Is it 120
No, how
million?
is it fraud? What are you saying?
Is it 120
No, no, no,
million?
no, no, no. No, what are you saying?
No, maybe so then.
No.
But
What are you
fellas,
saying?
what will be your understanding of Sadian if
You
indeed
see,
it's a Sadian
First
here?
of all, almost say you are going on yet fit and proper because Sikano Unyayeno, it was from a business that he did with Cocoa Board. That is the subject of criminal prosecution. That is the reason why they took the license.
And you're one. The next one
But
is
fit and
what he
proper.
said.
And I'm telling you, it's a fit and proper definition. Say, Obiako any business, legitimate business. Yeah, Momo ba bem.
Well, if it's legitimate,
Maybe-
why is the subject of criminal prosecution?
But because of political vindictiveness.
Chairman, Mon Kaba
Okay,
Sanu,
we
yeah,
are
okay,
we are
okay.
about to
Share. That's how Heritage Bank procured its capital. Did not exist. There was, in fact, no proof that they had 120 million minimum capital. Because it was one sika. No one moving around what they printed bank statement. Deceptive.
Ekosiisen on Asempa
These are
FM.
documented. Which government or which central bank in its right mind will allow that bank to stand?
Fraud vitiates everything.
Thank you very much. Yet, listen to them. I team worker. If you are seeing ha, abra, ikro, do. And the wuska to bank, na bank no fail abano to your back more. Of course, in some jurisdictions, or deposit protection, or your insurance, minimum $1,000, $2,000, max is how much you get. But on the Akufo-Addo, also look, innocent depositors on Kanam
FM.
Obi Bank of Ghana regulators one delinquency into one Shriwunska. His Excellency the President used taxpayers' money to refund all depositors. Yet, listen to them. It was difficult because look, Obi,
Ekosiisen on
Fa-
do you
Finally.
know what 22 billion cedis can do? That they what blab that you built infrastructure. I go for the understand about Bobosa. Yeah, approve of parliament, so he doesn't show us what he's going to use it for. I'm not trying. They talk, eh? These my brothers. Now, listen, Obi. By 2024, just like President Musne project was started here when we in his first term, and Mr. Bambahama Obowie in 2016 or the claim credit. No. 2024 will come when the Accra Kosombo dual has been done. When the Accra Aflao dual has been done.
Dual carriage.
Oh, 10 lane.
Hey.
10. 6 highway and then 4 service. It's been approved by Parliament. When my beloved Efion Kwanta redevelopment has been completed. When the nephrology and urology center at Efion Kwanta Kolebu Teaching Hospital has been completed.
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
When the maternity block at what you call it, Kolebu has been completed.
No, at a Confanoche.
Oh, Kwafadachi didn't hear different.
Okay.
When the La Temba General Hospitals have been completed, when the Central Medical Stores has been redeveloped.
Ninyina by 2024.
Oh, Basa. Because you see, projects take time to complete.
Okay.
In fact, University of Ghana Medical Center here, wouldn't you they be the GM legacy. And your professor must not start here. You can't even give the man a little credit for the work that he did.
La Mesa.
enyimnyam kakra.
All the best how far.
Oh, my brother. On the ground, watch about Samahama.
That's it.
So,
Felix,
look,
your
the
point.
chips will fall.
Okay, by
But the man will
2024.
listen. But the man will listen. Museo or something. I am mafia. Or Casa, I must stop brothers. But the man will listen. Now, but space can
15 minutes. My man come and say,
oh, no, fellas. But the man
oh,
will
yeah,
listen.
yeah.
But the man.
15 minutes. I'm missing Obi. Tumuda. Okay.
Dear Heno.
Project. Wait, your favorite paper tiger.
Laws that have been approved
In
by
a
Parliament.
contestation between two political parties, there's a political party here. It has delivered. Delivered. There were over 40 world-class hospitals under our belt. What they was say?
Name them.
Oh, please.
40
Odos.
world-class hospitals.
By NDC, Odos.
Football.
The most modern hospital in Ghana today, or University of Ghana Medical Center.
One.
You were rich.
Two.
Hwɛ polyclinics nko a yɛwɔ
Oh,
baako
that's
mako
the world class
na
hospital.
polyclinic wa n'ɔnyɛ hospital
Football 40.
mo bɔ hwɛ
Mombo boy.
hwɛ yɛwɔ polyclinics yɛwɔ polyclinics nko a 23 they are world class
Polyclinics.
na awo eyi share the point bi share the point bi
Hospitals that you left.
may say
We are completely-
masa whether you came whether you came to power or not those hospitals will be completed. We didn't need Akufo-Addo to complete them. In fact, once Sikan Wawa Ediama contractor, it will be completed.
NMS, what happened?
NMS, some of them are 90%. Wage in 4 years. You abandoned it.
Some of them, how many of them?
Dodo was completed. About 4 were
What
between
happened to
80.
the one in Sekendi?
They were,
La Mesa and Pocho.
now who says
Money.
anything was
Aye.
able to second? Secondly, a housing project. No, stop. You stopped it.
No, NMS not correct for second day.
Yes, but you stopped it.
Who
What?
stopped it?
Oh,
No, as
Mamenka
Omo
Masem.
Enyasa said, they not even start.
Mamenka Masem.
It didn't start.
Because you stopped it. There was a problem with land, litigation over land with the ADC. Well, by say you've not pursued it. So who are you blaming? You don't even have one district hospital. We need one district hospital, but you are promising world-class hospitals. You don't have one district hospital. Yet, you are promising world-class hospitals. Obi.
No, about document.
Obi.
List of hospitals.
Moshe.
In Central Region, we have 10 polyclinics. 10.
Those, they completed them.
Masa, whether Akufo-Addo came to power or not, it was to be completed. It had nothing to do with him. He knows nothing about those hospitals. Oba, no. And no yesika ya pato. Nothing stopped him from looking for money to complete his own hospitals too. So they are part of the hospitals that make him hospital. They don't even have a district hospital to talk about a tertiary hospital. Yet you are here reciting loans margin about 2 years ago. I'm going to find and giving baby we seek your debt to GDP ratio. There are many of those things that will be cancelled because you will not be allowed to cross a certain level. So when we get to 80% debt relief, you are not going to disburse those monies. Because of money, you can't have more debt than your GDP. Into a paper tiger. In any event, sir, hospitals President Akufo-Addo measure a more direct concrete promise say obey 88 district hospitals in 1 year, 12 months. 12 months no, a July way and a beson. You don't have one to show. Yet you want me to take confidence in paper tigers. When there's somebody on where we be, obi enemies where we be. So nobody has confidence in you. Yaba power. Between 2017 and 2020, every year we will give each district $1 million. How much of that were you able to give? Yaba, one district, one factory. We will build factories from scratch. How many factories did government itself build from scratch? Yaba, we will build a dam. We will build a dam. Our understanding is clear. It is in your manifesto. It is in the manifesto.
It will be done in collaboration with the private sector.
You are building new factories. You built a factory. That is what you did. The majority, over 80% of factories, somebody channel, factories and kasa, you never started them from scratch. But the promise of the man, say a support of the existing factories in Kwanka, you shouldn't have made the promise because near ye be Sam and Abros. Then yet Tamsika, the pharmaceutical company, someone ye infantry on factories. We did that. We will build a dam in each village of the 3 northern regions at the time. How many were you able to build? It will be 2023. Yama 4 years, you so 3 years, you be. Now you see that overemphasis on the flawed, false analysis about electricity generation capacity. No, may as come in so subium. But just so that nobody gets confused because Oko posted documents. No, you see his own documents exposing. On my argument, they say we should wait till the problem catches up with us and son I expand it. Our argument is that, but that's all you're implying. Otherwise, who problem? They say, look at the speed with which our generation capacity increased to 1,400, increased by 1,400 megawatts. But you have to say what you are buying. A service no be rendered, so you pay for it, but it is useful. Sir, extra extra 2,400 or so. You've used 1,400 of it already in 5 years. We here Susie and Akash say the 5,000 will become inadequate in another 5 years. Meanwhile, what way? What's the sir or minus sika and waste them basically? Who waste this sika no? What to me fa nipa 1,000 as staffers? Not with you for doing nothing more than sitting under behind computers and insulting people who attack government, who criticize government. Who feel say Omaya Yetimuno, the most useful expenditure is here is to build a cathedral. Between Obia or build a power plant and my electricity, and Obia or build a cathedral, when we have so many churches. I said, "Nay, Pebia Bompay, Benyabia and Abrosono. Why and a Yaban Papa?"
But the cathedral is not being built by government.
Abayam or Masasi, that land cost millions of dollars. Oye and Wasandi $25 million. $25 million can build a district hospital, which I contend will be more useful than a cathedral. And the Ghana, I can say they have large auditoriums. As you per se national Thanksgiving and any kind of national prayer, we can do it there without a hitch. It is my submission. Say between Abanya or increasing generation capacity, will be a wasted scale on national cathedrals. The former is better. Why? What to me? Every Ghana sika, every rented plane $17,000 an hour. There was a time on my penino sorry if Ghana Madrid a Champions League match at state expense in a hired aircraft $17,000 an hour. You spend monies like this. Share our travel budget as of the middle of 2020 and now 2019 was 68 million Ghana cedis. Who says Sika just anyhow? Yes, somebody puts that money into facilities about in terms of power generation. Who born a why money? President Mahama did no wrong. He is a visionary leader. Because 3,200 peak capacity, peak demand. I bet you. Every year now the 250 account. And within months it will be consumed. Because you forget, say, as you expand, aging equipment also break down. So even your install capacity reduces over time. Because anything in bit to amount and what they are here. Into ECG, if it's in fact, what check Obi, what check it? No, but no, or Aja, it means say power generating maybe. So that power is gone. When you decommission, it reduces your generation capacity. So it will be replaced by a new one away investing. The difference is that you train and yet tunnel vision governance and a moment. Now you could just swim and sign. And so I'm telling you today, what is speculation? You are the one speculating. I'm not speculating. Obi. But the factual, and I'm saying the factual situation is that what here, first of all, you are engaged in populist politics. Well, simply because we are paying money for something not being used to see, it is necessarily bad. I'm telling you, it is not. It is not a waste of money. The waste of money is that nobody needs.
1 billion waste. But the amount involved, and let
me say,
the $1 billion.
There is a reason why you incur that cost. In any event, where is the proof of that $1 billion or more?
Oh, you doubt that?
Massa, Minister, Bar, Parliament, the total payment in energy sector 5.1 billion as of the middle of 2020. Where is that 12 billion now?
12 billion a year projection 2023.
On my budget, no. What appendices they should show where they give a breakdown of those payments. There's a company being and say Omati. Almost 631 million. What happened is that in the past, now IPP is Nankasa Tombu Fuel, FIO plants. One company in July 2017. Those is not a bust. A minor company and a yes idea. It says can bust to I bought money for two. They've given it to a private entity to do.
Projected what?
You are talking projected. When your actuals in the budget say we have 5.5, you are speaking as if no. Obi, share.
Yeah.
Obi.
Yeah, me too.
What about Parliament? What about Parliament? Your own documents show. As recently as 2020, medieval July 2020. What about Parliament? You've given a breakdown of payments you've done in the energy sector amounting to 5.1 billion, including payments you are making for power that you've actually consumed. And yet you are here talking about 12 billion as if so be money. So we are challenging you to give us a full breakdown of that 12 billion. What can I say? There was a timer.
I will read the heading.
Obi. That's why Obi T. What can I say? There was a timer on the catch there.
Okay, projected sector arrears, including gas take or pay obligations, in $1 million. In total by 2023, about $12,524.
Obi.
12 billion.
Obi.
Yeah, a billion.
Obi gas.
Okay.
Gas take or pay now. What can? Your gas war a year oil fields now. If you don't evacuate, it affects the integrity of the oil fields. Your gas processing plants. So you evacuate the gas there for it to be processed. Until say you expand capacity, the gas continues to pose a problem. So money I say you invest in additional fuel to give us gas, which is much cheaper than crude oil now we use. What exactly is the crime in that? So you are actually creating a problem when none exists. You are basing your claims on projections. Say by 2023 we will hit a certain figure. By 2023, I can assure you, now your generation, another 1,000 megawatts demand that become. But let me come to the point I was making.
In 2 minutes, your time.
These claims about say Obi SSC are false. They are through some propaganda that you are the government are a wasteful power. Abaya Obaya, you create 125 ministries to waste public funds on a near existing ministries and agencies between me easily. Procurement minister, infrastructure, yet that office was running. And yet you are man worker over it. That is waste. But the visionary of Mama, we're making sure say at least generation shortfalls never become a reason for better sumo. One more one abaso. What?
You are paying ministers double salary.
No, Master.
Double.
Obi. It was not the regular practice to pay ministers double salary.
Oh, but it happened.
Now, me say, it is not the regular. It is as a propaganda, a very pedestrian propaganda. In any event, say Bonniebi, and I'm sure say, and Bonniebi because why are people working? OBG double salary is not a crime. Why are they working free? You know exactly what happened. Yeah, what better not can as if say I buying for 8 years now. All we were doing was paying people double. It could only have been an error rectifiable. We bet your money paying yes back if you think that there's been some sort of that's all is an administrative problem. That's all. But what you intentionally came to dissipate public funds. What simply? You are the one doing. Obi say say both as a manager FM are paying you. Is it not up to your accountants to rectify the problem? Draw your attention to why did you fabric? Is that not what the issue is? Is it the same as say as Empa and I'm multimedia more employ 1,000 people that you don't need? Is it the same? Are the two situations the same? So you are the one doing simplistic analysis. Because
power that we don't need. Yes.
But I'm saying that the power we have installed power in anticipation of increases that have started happening. It's mono tunnel vision. And power plants are. But as for taxes, you condemned taxes. You condemned borrowing. You claimed, say, you were extraordinarily knowledgeable. And I bet you, so you don't possess any extraordinary knowledge. In fact, in terms of management, you are the very worst because all your actuals, all your outings, all your outruns, all the figures show say this is the worst state the economy has been in 40 years.
Felix,
because our debt is much bigger than you came to meet it. Because you've imposed 12 different taxes since you came to power. Because what can I say? Because of what? What are you talking about? Me say COVID. Obi, before COVID struck, our deficit was worse than 2016. It is a fact you can't deny. Before COVID struck, our debt, public debt, near 240 billion before COVID struck. It was worse that you met it by 80 billion. Our debt to GDP ratio now is 62% before COVID struck.
Of which?
Of which what? None of it had gone into the banking sector at the time.
Okay.
And what energy sector?
Mame,
Now,
no more
why? Energy sector payments is not a responsibility of government. I am responsible.
We'll continue next week. Ekosiisen, Suni. Ehaya Sempa FM.
Who says